guys. So I'm back. This is my second video. So today I'm going to be talking about like incompletions and completions, and I'll tell you a little more about them shortly. So right now where I am is actually the banyan tree. So this is like my favorite spot like in the whole ashram. It's so nice and serene and so peaceful. If you guys ever come visit here, it's gonna be phenomenal because it's so calming and so soothing. So anyway, I just want to let you know what I'm wearing right now. So this is like vibhuti or basma, and what it is, it's sacred ash. And what it helps you with is that it actually takes in radiation so that your body doesn't take that radiation in. So it's very good for your health. And actually a lot of people, a lot of sadhus or religious monks, they actually put it all over their body. And what I'm wearing right now, kumkum. So kumkum is a type of powder, and what it does, it cleans your third eye, so that so if you have any like impurities in it, like fluoride, it will take that out. And actually that's why like Hindus, actually married women, they wear kumkum like on the top of their head, and that's to also clean the third eye. And I actually found that out like when I came here, and I thought it's like pretty cool. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about completions and incompletions. So incompletions are any emotions within you that make you feel a sense of powerlessness, and this could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be let's see, just a feeling of rejection. It could be anything that makes you fall into a space of powerlessness, where it makes you feel uncomfortable, it makes you feel irritated, and like feeling like you can't do anything about the situation. And how to go about completing it, so there's actually physical completions, and then there's also emotional and psychological completions. So completion, it has like the same process. So the first thing about completion is to be aware of your problem. So if if there's like something bubbling within you and you're like suppressing it, don't do that, because then you can't complete. So you always have to bring like awareness to it. And when you're aware of something, that makes like the biggest difference, because then you're like, aha, this is like an incompletion I found out. And truthfully, you'll be able to complete it so much easier when you're aware of the problem. So actually, when I came to the ashram, right, the ashram has such like a high frequency vibration that like all incompletions, they come out of your body. Some of them physically, and some of them you have to work on. So for example, like when I first came here, I was sick to the bone. Like I was sick. Like you know how much I love to talk. I couldn't talk for like a whole week and a half. I was like super quiet, and that's because like every time I talked or spoke for too long, my throat would start hurting. And also I was put into this 3-month program called Ananda Yogam, and in English it actually means life bliss program. And I didn't know it at the time, because seriously, I came to the ashram without knowing anything. Like I had no clue about anything. I wasn't even planning to come to the ashram, you know what I mean? So I just came, and later I found out that the Ananda Yogam program is to build your integrity. So to build your integrity, like they had a very regimented schedule. So right after you finish this, you have to be at a certain place like within 15 minutes, and you have to be there on time. And your whole day goes by without leaving any hours behind. So basically every hour of the day you're doing something, and you're always active, and such things as we have Hinduism class, we had like chanting class, Then we were in departments. So there was a temple department, there was the publications department, the vision, the creative arts, marketing department. There was like the kitchen department. So there's like different departments where you can help out and you can like see how everything works. I was in like the publications department helping with books, and so I was there for like a certain amount of time, and then there was lunch break. So mind you, like I come like really new to this, to the ashram, have no idea what I'm doing, and then I'm put into this program, and it is so regimented. Like it takes a while to get used to. Like for example, I remember that we actually have like a morning routine that you cannot miss. Like that's like so important. I came to the ashram, and like the first 3 weeks I would always miss like yoga and puja. And the reason I missed that was because we had like a class from 11 to 12 o'clock. We had 11 to 12 o'clock at night. We had another yoga class, and by halfway in that class, I like sometimes I knocked out and I basically slept in the hall that the yoga class was in. Like, yeah, and then like I would like miss like the morning routine because I couldn't wake up. So it was like I missed like the morning yoga, and I missed like morning puja for 3 whole weeks. But I always wanted to go to it. Like I was like, no, like the next day I'm gonna go to it. The next day I'm going to I'm going to go to it. And I would always come to the banyan tree. So the banyan tree is a kalpataru. So it's basically what kalpataru means. It's basically wish fulfilling tree. And I would always declare to the tree like, I'm integrated. I am integrated. I am integrated. Even though I completely wasn't, but I wanted to be, and so I just declared that. And then it was so funny because after a while, Swamiji, he told everyone, he was like, you know what, we're going to have a curfew. All the departments have to shut down by 10 o'clock. And that, like, it made me so happy. Like, I wasn't even expecting that, but it made me so happy because it meant that I could actually go to sleep earlier so that I can get up earlier for the morning puja, the morning, like, yoga, and then, like, satsang. I mean, I never miss satsang, but I could always get up, like, I can get up for the 2 things that I was missing out on. So, so basically, so that's, like, what happened, like, when I came here. And because of, like, the high frequency energy, like, within this area, like, tons and tons and tons of incompletions were coming up, and these incompletions were physical. And what I mean by physical is that if there's any incompletion coming out of you, it's like through water. So it's tears, if you have diarrhea, like even spontaneous like like allergic reactions. Like I'm not allergic to anything. When I was growing up, I wasn't allergic to anything. Like I could always eat everything. I could if there was medication, I could always take it because I wasn't allergic to anything. However, like I remembered, like after I was sick for like almost two weeks, I remember like, oh God, it was so bad. Like I was just coughing everywhere. I had fever like for a couple of days, or maybe like 1 or 2 days. 1 or 2 days I had fever. Like it was real bad. And after that, I actually had like this spontaneous allergic reaction all over my body, except for my face, like my chest, like my belly, like all my legs, even the bottom of my feet. Everything was like red welts all over my body. And like at first I was like, okay, someone, this is gonna go away, like it'll go away, but I actually had to take medication for it because it was so bad. And like like I'm not allergic to anything, like so it just like spontaneously just like came like out of my body. And then I remember I was in Hinduism class, I like just like really enjoying the class and everything, and then like all of a sudden I had to get up, and then I basically went into like the bathroom, and for who knows what reason, I think I was missing home at that point, but I don't know, but I just like cried for like 10 10-15 minutes in the bathroom and then came out again to the class. And it was just like, I don't even know why. But it was just like, it was like a little bit of like I was missing home as well. So I guess that's why. But everything else, like, oh my goodness, like there was like I was put into situations where a lot, I saw like a lot of like my patterns come up. And like, for example, there was like patterns like feeling like restricted and like feeling like I couldn't be free because of like how the schedule was, because it was regimented. It was meant to build up your integrity, but I didn't see it like that. Like I just felt like I was like so restricted that I had to be like from here to here to here, and it just felt like I was being like squeezed, like I was being squeezed tight, and like I couldn't breathe. That's what it felt like. It felt like I couldn't breathe. And I told this like to my supervisor, and oh my gosh, she was so understanding. She actually understood where I was coming from, because the thing is a lot of the way the program is set up, like it's nothing like in the outside world. Like I've never had to be like this in the outside world. It was there was always like wiggle room. Like you could always come a little bit late, but like here it's not. You can't it's not good if you're late, because at the time I didn't know, but really it was to build your integrity. And I'll get to why integrity is so important. It's really cool, actually. I'll have to make a whole other video. But so anyway, so that was like a pattern, because like I was feeling constricted. I was feeling like I couldn't breathe. And I talked about it with my supervisor, and she had to like explain to me the purpose of it, like why it was the way it was. And then I had to look into myself and see why I was feeling this tightness, this like constrictiveness, when it was meant to support me, make me grow stronger, into a better person. So I had to look within, and basically I had to complete with that pattern. Off the top of my head, I don't know how I completed and stuff like that, like what the reason was, but I do know that I completed with it, and now I have no problem like going from like one place to another, having a very regimented schedule. That's not a problem for me, and I think a lot of it is because I know where the context is coming from. So if I didn't know the context, I would still feel restricted. But because I know the context now, because I know why it's so important, I was okay with it, and I completed with that feeling, with that tightness, with that being having no breathing space, having no room to breathe. I completed with that, and now I'm okay. And now I actually run to get to things on time. Basically throughout the program, I was in Ananda Yogam for a month and a half, and throughout the program I had a lot of ups and downs, and in the sense that I thought I was completing patterns every step of the way, but then another one would come in and be like, woohoo, surprise, you didn't see me coming. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I'd have to complete with that pattern as well. So let's see. For example, there was this one time where me and my Ananda Yogam friends, we worked so hard to sing a song during a Ganesha festival. And we would stay up all night just to sing and to make sure that we were getting the words correct. But however, at the day of the festival, the coordinator, he was like, oh, you guys, all the girls, you have to get off the stage because you have to help with the dancing. And then like I was just so upset because like it felt like, I was working, like, I worked my butt off. I was like there, like, late every night to like, read the chants, to like read the lyrics, to sing the songs. For what? For nothing, because we didn't even get to perform. And I was so upset. I was just so upset. Like, when we're supposed to be dancing, I was just like kind of standing still because like I felt really angry. And the reason why I felt angry is because like I felt like I had no voice. Like I could have said something, like I could have said no, but I didn't. I just listened to them and I just went off the stage. And I, like, I, at that moment, that was like a sense of powerlessness because it felt like I had no voice. Where I could have said something, but I didn't, and I just, went off the stage. So I was so upset, and I actually had to complete with like the coordinator. I had to go up to him and say, this is what happened, and this made me super upset. And like he was so surprised, like he didn't even like think of it like that. And I was like, of course, why would you not think we're upset? Because like we worked so hard, and for like we didn't even get to perform. So I actually completed with, and like he also completed with me because he told me that he didn't even realize that that like that was what was going through our heads, the people, like when he told us to get off the stage. And he said, oh, I just didn't think the stage was big enough, but then he said, but I could have put you guys like in this space. So like we did complete with each other, but it was a good opportunity. Like it was like it's a good thing that happened because it did bring out that pattern where like I felt like I had no voice, so that I recognized it. And like if that ever comes up again, which is not going to happen because I completed with it, but I know how to handle it. So if I'm ever in that powerlessness space, I could be like, okay, so this is what this pattern is. How can I be powerful at this moment? And how I can be powerful at that moment, if that pattern ever comes up, is actually to say something, to like speak out, to like have people hear what I have to say, like my opinion, and just my perspective. And so like that's just like an example of like a completion, and there were many more. Like seriously, it was just like I was like skipping along one day, and then the next day it was just like, oh, another one, you know what I mean? So, but the thing was, it's so amazing to be here, just because yes, you like at some point it's just like you're really down and you're just like, oh my god, this is so crazy, like what am I doing here, why am I doing this? But it's good because these patterns, they just come to you. You get to face them, and you get to complete them, and you get to kick their butt. So, and what that makes you is, it makes you more powerful, because when you're complete, like when you complete more and more and more and more, you get to be more confident in yourself. And especially when you're integrated, so not only are you completing, but when you're integrated with yourself as well, that self-doubt, it just gets stomped out of your system, and you can do more. Like your body, like if you tell your body to do something, or even if you like declare something, or you try to manifest something, it'll come easier because you have no doubt. So so that was actually that was like the second part that I wanted to let you guys know about, like completions and incompletions, and how like I've been doing in the ashram for these past couple of months, and why it's like this place is so cool to do these types of like processes, just because it makes you into like such a more powerful person, and you get to like really look into yourself, and you're like, aha, I know you're a pattern, like you're not really me. And then you just get to kick them out of your system, you know what I mean? So anyway, so that's like just some of the things that I've been doing. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.